Hello everyone, how are you today? I'm back in the cathedral sitting in the children's area and I've got some coloured bits of paper, and they're not whole bits of paper, they're bits of paper we've already used for something else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some cutting. So I'm going to get these bits of paper like that, and I'm going to fold the end in. Then I'm going to take my scissors, and it doesn't matter how many bits of paper you have, 1, 2, 3 or 4, but I've made a fold like this, and then I'm going to cut up from the fold, round in a circle and down to a point. So I've cut this shape out of my paper. And then when I open it up, I've got an orange heart, and a red heart, and a green heart, and a pink heart. And then I'm going to do it again because I want some more hearts. So I do a loopy bit round and loop in, and I've cut that bit out of my paper, and I've got another pink heart, and another green heart, and another red heart, and another orangey yellow heart. And then I'm going to get a bit of paper, and this is an old colouring sheet that nobody has used, and I'm going to take my love heart shapes and I'm going to make a picture with them. And I'm thinking, what shall I make? And the first thing I think of is a flower. And I think I'll have a pink and yellow flower. So I'm going to put my pink and my yellow bits together, just like that, and I'm going to stick them on my paper. So I'm putting them on the paper, and when I've stuck them down, I'll show you what I've done. So I'm getting a bit of sticky tape put across that way, and then I'm getting another bit of sticky tape to put them that way, and I've stuck them on like a flower. Now a flower needs a stalk, so I've got a green texture and I'm going to give it a stalk like that. Then I'm going to take my green heart and my other green heart, and I'm going to stick them on my stalk, because do you know what these are going to be? Do you know what I'm making the green hearts into? Let's have a look. That's right, I made them into some green leaves for my flower. But I've got 2 red hearts left. What could I make out of these? I'm thinking, I know what I could do. I'm going to take my red heart and put that one upside down and stick it on my paper. So I've got another old colouring sheet and I'm using the back, and I've got an upside down red heart. Then I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to stick it up the right way on top. Do you know what this is? If I did it that way, it could be a butterfly. I could draw some antennae and a bit of a body, and I could make it into a butterfly, but I'm having it this way. Then I've got a texture, and I'm going to draw some things. Any idea what you think I might be drawing? I've done some circles and some lines, and I'm making this into something, and I'm going to show you. I think I'll make it a happy something. Can you see what I've made my 2 hearts into? I've made my 2 hearts into a person. If you had a pile of hearts, can you think of something you could make them into? I bet you could make a picture like I did. I made a flower and a person. But I could have made a butterfly, or perhaps a motorbike, or a house, or a bird, or a caterpillar, or a bug. There's lots of things I could have made. Can you think of something? Cut some hearts out, or get your grown-ups or big brothers and sisters to help you cut some hearts out and make a picture. But why are we thinking about hearts today? Well, this morning's story was about a man who had some slaves, and he gave them slaves some things called talents, which is about a bit like giving them money, giving them special things. And he left them to look after the money, the talents. And one slave he gave a lot to, and the second one he gave a lot but not quite as much. And then another slave he hardly gave any to at all. And when he came back, the one who had been given a lot had made a lot more. And the one who had been given quite a lot had made quite a lot more. But the one who was only given one little bit hadn't made any extra at all. And the man was really cranky with him. So you know that man can't be God, because God's not like that, because God treats everybody the same and loves everybody the same and doesn't get cranky with us if we haven't got something. But that's what happens in our world. I'm lucky. I was born into a family that had lots of money, and we had a house, and I went to a good school and I learned things, and I became a doctor and a deacon. And I was lucky I could do that. But some people don't get a lot, and some people don't start with much, and they end up with nothing at all. And we have to remember we might be lucky, but other people aren't. But we also must remember that if we're not one of the lucky ones, it's not our fault. And God loves us even though we haven't got anything at all, or we don't think we've got anything. We have to remember God's rules. God's rules aren't to go out and make as much money as you can. Do you know what God's rules are? Jesus told us that what God's commandments are. You should love God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. So that's the first one. We've got to love God with all of us. And the second rule was to love our neighbour. And our neighbour is everybody else in the world. We need to love our neighbour as ourselves. So we have to love everybody else, and we have to love ourselves as well, all the same. So God's orders to us, what God tells us to do, is all about love. So that's what we do. We have to remember we need to love God, we need to love other people, and importantly, we need to love ourselves as well. So when we use love hearts to make pictures, we can remember that God is all about love and loving. Can you remember that? I need to go now. I'll see you soon. You stay safe, keep well. Bye.